Morning, welcome back. Weather's a bit ugly. Yeah, misty rain, pretty cold again. We've actually got the fire going in the house just to keep the job warm. I think it's top of about 14 degrees today, so yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on with spring, but yeah, it looks like it might be like this most of the day. Anyhow, where are we up to? Start of the week again. We've actually abandoned ship with cutting the hay. We took our machine down there on Saturday and had a bit of a play around. We've sort of worked out the limitations of our machine with the sickle knife front on it. Ground's very wet underfoot, which doesn't help, and yeah, just the wet rye gas and that sort of stuff. I went back down there yesterday and had a bit of a play around with it again. Lifted, sort of dropped the skids down, which I think I said I was going to on the last video, and just to lift the cutter bar up, get it out of the sort of wet snotty stuff. Was going not too bad, but a bit of the problem is, and I've never sort of dealt much with vetch, it's quite viney. So what's happening is we sort of need a cutter on the point of the mower, if you can understand what I mean, like where we're cutting and where's not cut's sort of all tangled up. And what's actually happening is it's causing a lot of dragging and that sort of stuff. So it wasn't going to do a good job. So yeah, so we sort of pulled the pin on that one. So there's about 20 hectares left down there to cut of that job. So we're going to run Brendan's tractor and mower into the AGCO dealer this morning, and yeah, look, hopefully they can get it up and going. But look, while it's miserable and wet like this, we wouldn't be cutting hay anyway. So yeah, Mother Nature's doing us a bit of a solid at the moment. Still pumping water off the rice ground. We should get that done today. It's pretty good. We're just getting the dribs and drabs. But what I have discovered this morning, we've got a leak. So there was a little puddle here yesterday, and I just thought it was one of the dogs had done a wee on the tyre, but that's actually AdBlue leaking. Now, I'm not too sure what's going on, but we'll give it a wash. The AdBlue tank is up under the bonnet, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on, whether it's just a fitting, or you can sort of see it's wet moisture in there on the inside of the tyre. But yeah, sort of the crystallised white around the end there is what it is, and it's basically urea, so it's pretty corrosive. And yeah, I'm not too sure who the brainiac that thought up this stuff. So AdBlue, if you're not in Australia, is DEF. Well, we call it AdBlue here, but it's DEF, so whatever that stands for. Anyway, just something else that can go wrong with a machine, but we won't go there. So we'll just give it a wash and see if we can find out whether we can fix it. If not, we might have to get the Manitou dealers, which is actually a local case dealer, to come out and have a look what's going on. I'm hoping it's just a loose fitting or something like that. But anyway, we'll do a bit of investigating and see what's going on. But yeah, how good's the weather? Anyway, yeah, we'll might be a shed day job. We're working to backline some ewes and that sort of stuff, but yeah, we'll just there's plenty of other stuff we can do while it's a bit miserable. So this little fellow, the camera will focus, that's the AdBlue filter, and it's the same. Tony got on and had a look. We've actually given it a wash and a tidy up, but Tony had a look, and it's actually the same one that runs in the little 516 Fendt we've got. So we were able to, I'm not too sure why this camera won't focus, but yeah, we're able to just get one from our AGCO dealer, and then it's got a little rubber doodle that actually goes down inside it. I think it must go that way. It sort of sits like that, and then it seals on it's a canister type thing. You just unscrew a big nut and it pops up in, and for whatever reason the cap on the bottom of it's got a hole in it, and you can sort of see there that rubber grommet or rubber doodle, it seals on the hole in the cap. And yeah, for whatever reason it was sort of a bit, let's get it in the right light, it was sort of a bit squashed. So whether we were just losing pressure on the on the cap, and that's where it was leaking. But anyway, it was an easy fix. I didn't actually know that that was in there. Well, I knew it had a filter in there, but it was, there's a little pump and all that sort of stuff in there. So yeah, this is canister. But yeah, Tony got on, and he's a clever bugger. Tony got on and Googled it and found it, and then got the numbers off it and was able to correspond them with the ones that are on the other on the little tractor. So that's good to know that it is a common sort of common filter, or we can get one locally anyway if it happens again. But yeah, it was an easy enough fix. Morning. All right, we've had a few days since the start of this one. I was away for one day. We was part of a benchmarking group, which I think I've mentioned before, where there's I think 6 farms involved through Farmenco, who do our main business review. And yeah, it was basically on it's an open book type deal, so everyone gets to look at your financials, and then they sort of pull your business apart and what you can do better and that sort of stuff. So that was the last one of those that we had. So it was good to go and have a look at a different enterprise, straight cropping and a fair bit of irrigation, fair bit more scale to what we've got here. And yeah, guys are doing a really good job. So that's filled a day in for me. We've continued to backline the ewes out the other farm, so we did another mob yesterday morning. We went up yesterday. You can see the truck in the background. We shot up and picked it up. It was ready to go, so hopefully they've done the recall on it. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned we're having trouble with the Horton fan, the engine cooling fan not coming in automatically. So they tell me that's all been corrected, which is good and fixed up. Rice is up. We'll duck up and have a look at it, or it's just starting to come up, which is good. So we've got it sewn up the right way, which is always good to see. And we've had a delivery, corn seed delivery. So we've ended up with a 1481, which is a Pioneer Seeds variety. So we're waiting on, and I don't know whether we're going to get it or not. We're waiting on some liquid fertiliser to come. It's should have been here by now, and it possibly may turn up today. But the planter should possibly be here this afternoon, if not in the morning. So that's where we're up to with that job. So which is, it'll be good to get it in the ground. Brendan's mower, hopefully we'll get a bit of an idea of what's going on today. I think they're going to be waiting on parts, and I think the parts that they're chasing are on the other side of the country, so we'll just have to wait and see there. We cut another paddock of hay ourselves, if I can get it out. The other half of where the early hay we did, so it's down. Brendan finished doing that yesterday, so that's all gone to plan. And yeah, so we need to try, and we're going to go down now today and have a look at where we were cutting the vetch, and just see whether, it's been pretty good warm weather the last couple of days, whether it might have dried out a little bit to the point where we might be able to cut it with our mower, because it's looking like it's going to be the weekend or after the weekend before they'll have his mower operational again. We also need to look down there at what's going on with what they're going to cut next, whether they've got some oats down there and also got some cereal, some wheat down there to cut, or they may even take the wheat through to grain yet. So we'll just have to toss that one around when we can. Since starting this one, I've had a couple of phone calls about windrowing canola, which is a bit hard to believe given it's only the middle of October, but it's looking like the windrow will probably start next week at this stage. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'll know more towards the end of the week. What's going on there in the middle of next week. But yeah, it's all going to sort of come to a head pretty quickly. So in one sense, I'm hoping that they decide only this main hay job we've got, that they only sort of want to cut the rest of the oats, and then that'll do. But yeah, on the other hand, it'd be good to yeah, good to try and do as much as we can, because we've got a baler we've got to pay for, so the more work we can get with it, the easier it is to make the repayment. So the rice, I've just got the shovel here. You can just see there's quite a few shot there now. So we're away, we're in the game. It's not quite up yet, but yeah, it's going to. There's quite a few there that are shot. There's another one there, and then on the. Just look at these on the shovel if I'm. Get rid of that so it focuses. So yes, there's quite a few there shot now. So one down there. Yeah, so haven't quite got rows yet. You can see a few here starting to poke their heads through. So yeah, by the weekend maybe we might start and see a few actually coming through, which will be good. So yeah, it's all starting to happen, which is, yeah, it's pleasing. So there's been a lot of work go into it, but yeah, to get it out of the grounds, yeah, half the battle won. So. Alright, we've got the last mob of ewes backlined and back out in the paddock. It's warmed up a bit. It's 22 on the ute, so yeah, just walking them quietly. Don't want to blow them up because they haven't had too much exercise being locked up in containment. So anyway, they'll be happy enough here. We might have a look at the vetch hay while we're here. I'm just putting them into the same paddock, but yeah, that won't matter. They won't worry it too much. There's plenty of other stuff here to eat. Just, yeah, we'll have a look at the hay and see whether it needs turning and see where it's up to. So yeah, it's drying out nicely. Still plenty of colour underneath. It's starting to lose a bit of colour on top, which it does just with the sunshine on it. But yeah, no, it should be alright. If you've been watching on when before we cut it, it's probably got a bit far. Well, it has got a bit far because the vetch has started to set seed. So we've got a pod a bit like a bean pod. So what's going to give us trouble is getting these dry. But you know, at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to rain anytime soon. So we should, yeah, it should be right to just let it sit here. And again, that's the arrowleaf clover stalks, pretty thick sort of sucker. So, but it's still got plenty of juice. Well, not plenty of juice in it. It's drying down, but yeah, it won't. We'll just leave it alone for a bit longer and perhaps tip it over. We can run along with the rake and just, you know, flip it over, and then we'll probably have to rake it again in front of the baler just to bring the two together. But there's going to be a bit of stuff here, which is good. So it's and yeah, it'll make pretty good hay. So yeah, we can either stack it up for ourselves, or yeah, there might be a market for it. We'll just, yeah, we'll suck it and see as time goes by. But yeah, there's no sort of panic to get it in a bale just yet anyway. So we've ended up with quite the maternity ward with our ram that got in and had a bit of fun for a couple of days. So anyway, we've got them all sort of pretty separate now. We'll just keep them in one of the containment areas. We'll put a bit of feed and that out for them. Come on, little mate. Other way. There you go. So yeah, some of them, they're only sort of 3 or 4 days old. Some of them might not even been that. Yeah, anyway, we sort of kept them separate from the other mob. So I don't know what they'd be. There could be 30 lambs there. The little multicoloured black lammy there, he's pretty cute. A bit like the one at home that we've got. So anyway. And then there's a couple of bigger lambs that got in with the ewes at some point in time that we've pulled out as well. So, yeah, anyway, they'll be right. All done. So we've got the little nursery there with, as I said, there'd be 30 odd lambs probably. I think nearly every bloody ewes had twins anyhow. One thing that's come out of it though, we've ended up with a new pet. So I got this little guy. I'm not actually sure whether it's a ewe or a wether, but he'd be a couple of days old, might be 3 days old. So I'm hoping he's had his colostrum off his mum, but his mother had actually prolapsed after having him, or having him, so I've actually euthanized her because there was no future for her. So, and yeah, so we couldn't just leave this little bloke out in the paddock to his own devices. He wasn't big enough, he wouldn't have survived. So he looks pretty strong and happy at the moment, so we'll take him home and get him on a bottle. So it'll give the kids something to do, so it can be their job to feed him, because we're getting in the busy time, and they can do it before school and after school, and it can be their little. We might have to bribe them with a bit of pocket money to do it, but it doesn't hurt them getting involved and learning a bit about it. So anyway, it's warming up. We've jumped a couple of degrees. We're 25 degrees now on the ute. So we'll duck home and see what the other guys where they're up to. Okay, so good news. He's survived. It is a boy. It is a he. He identifies as a he. Anyway. Survived the night, had a good drink yesterday afternoon, and then I fed him again this morning, and he's got it down pat, knows what he's doing. So we'll just leave him in here, just got him in the shearing shed out of the wind and the weather and that sort of stuff. And eventually we generally get a little fence or a little yard set up for him out in the house yard on the grass, where it's a bit nicer in time. But yeah, given how strong he is, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed he should be right. But we have had them, if they do miss out on their colostrum, we have had them, they'll live 7 to 10 days, and then all of a sudden you'll come out one morning and they'll be dead. So, but hopefully this guy, the way he's drinking and he's up and about and carrying on plenty, you can hear in the background. So, all right, we might wind this one up. Was back down cutting hay last night at Yarramundi. We've started back down there cutting oats. Just trying to sort a few things out to get someone to cut the vetch down there, which is creating a few dramas. But anyway, we'll get there. And hopefully we'll see a corn planter. You'll see a corn planter in the next video. Okay, thanks again. We'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da.